Hey guys, what's going on? It's Twintuitive717. I am back with another video. I hope you guys are doing incredibly well. Happy Sunday. Thank you for being with me here on the channel, guys. I really appreciate your support. I love you, my YouTube family. And of course, a mad shout out to the mega crew over on Patreon. All right, thanks for your support, guys. So I'm going to jump right in, and I feel like I want to do 3 messages and we'll just find out what's going on with the divine masculines. I just did a reading on Patreon as well, and an interesting message came up, and yeah, I guess it's what kind of pushed me to figure out what's going on with these divine masculines, especially when it comes to just maybe like reaching out or like what's next in the connection. Maybe many of you are at a standstill. I feel like there's a lot of endings going on with your masculines, okay? And what I was sharing on Patreon in this reading was that in the past, a lot of your masculines stayed stuck in certain karmic situations because the amount of towers that would fall in that area of their life, if they were to make a move towards the divine feminine, for example, it would cause a lot of disruption, a lot of chaos, a lot of towers. Financially, I feel like there would be a lot of people in the community, like friends and family, that would be very shocked. Maybe in some ways, your masculine would even be ostracized from their community. So the safer thing to do was to just stay put where they were, or just not rock the boat in any way. But the energy that came through in that reading was a lot of your masculines aren't afraid to make these moves anymore, because I feel like what's happening is it seems like anything else would be easier than having to deal with what they're dealing with in some of their karmic situations, because their feelings and like their true selves, it's being stifled. Okay, it really truly is like wearing a mask, and all you want to do is take that mask off and just breathe. You just want to breathe in some fresh air, you know? So I feel like that mask was maybe for their protection at one point, but it's like they're just over it, okay? Some of the things that came up in the Patreon reading was like, you know, like some of your masculines are actually starting to make major moves, like find out what their house is valued at so that they can sell it. Maybe they would always have high conflict with the karmic partners and say to themselves, you know, like, I want to separate, or I want a divorce, or I want to break up, whatever the case is. And the karmic partners used to make it seem like it was going to be a huge tower to fall if they did have to separate. I feel like a lot of your masculines are just, they're not afraid anymore. Like, they're not afraid of making major moves, because those major moves are starting to seem not so major anymore. It's starting to seem like the easier thing to do than have to deal with a lot of the repetitive cycles that they've been going through. I feel like karmic situations have been getting worse and worse and worse, especially maybe within like the last year or so, because a lot of the divine feminines really stepped back. So there's been a major shift in those collectives of, in that collective of twins, sorry, who experienced that life lesson of, oh my God, aha, epiphany moment. I have to let this go and just see what's going to happen. Okay. And it was a really painful, scary thing to do for many of you, because it was like all of this hard work for nothing, right? I think we went over that in the last reading, or one of the few previous readings that have been discussed. A lot of you didn't want to let go or walk away because maybe it felt like it was putting an end to the connection. But what a lot of you are starting to see is it's speeding things up on your divine masculine's path. Okay, that's what I'm feeling. A lot of realizations, a lot of awakenings. Many of your masculines are starting to live from a place of authenticity because it just seems easier. It seems like the right thing to do. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and do 3 different messages, and then I don't know if I'm going to stick to tarot meanings. I think I'm maybe going to stick to the images in the decks and see what that has to say. Okay, so if you're attracted to the number 1, group 1's messages, I keep your pictures in a safe place. If you guys are with me on Patreon, you guys might be cracking up because it's like, oh, well, you didn't keep them in a safe place enough. The place you were keeping them in wasn't safe enough. The Patreon reading was actually about the karmic partners finding the most recent pictures of the divine feminine in this masculine's phone or in their computer in some kind of secret folder, I'm wanting to say. And it's funny that this card is coming up now, okay? I feel like for those of you who are attracted to this message, it is a sign from your masculine that this connection was never over for them, okay? I feel like if you guys knew, like, the little folder that your divine masculine has on you, you guys would be blown away, or you would be shocked to know how close they hold your, like, the memories you two have. Maybe you guys wouldn't expect that they've saved screenshots, they've saved photographs, they have pictures of you from when you were, like, really old, those pictures that you would look back on your Facebook and be like, ew, I can't believe I wore that. Like, with them scrolling down your page and looking at your posts and things like that, I feel like this is a divine masculine who, like, they hold on to those things, right? And a lot of you would be surprised. I feel like it's a message coming from many of them that says, like, I still think about you, and there's nowhere else for me to go. That's what I'm hearing. You know, it's like there's nowhere else for them to really run to at this time. They want to go where it feels good and it feels safe. And I think that holding on to your pictures, it's always a reminder of the connection and moving towards you, okay? What's their best course of action? What are they planning to do about it? Because many of you are like, do they just want to, like, stare at my pictures on the phone? Like, are they actually going to take some action? Well, let's find out. Okay, so we have our Knight of Wands coming through. And what's going to lead them to come forward and take action is the passion that they have for you and the love that they have for you. Okay, so whoever's card this is, you have two knights. Okay, and for me, knights are all about taking action. It's about charging ahead. It's about getting out of that page energy and stop thinking about it and stop studying it and stop weighing out all the options and overanalyzing and just do something about it. Okay, with them keeping your pictures in a safe place, like, there's a lot behind this. Okay, maybe people have found these pictures. Maybe there's realizations from your masculine side that, like you're still doing this, and I feel like this is a masculine who's questioning themselves. Like, you're always going to feel like this. You're always going to feel this way. So what's the point in staying trapped? Okay, and this is a masculine, especially if they're in Knight energy, they don't want to feel trapped or stagnant. And I feel like that's what the karmic situations are starting to feel like right now, is that, like, their true selves just wants to go rushing in towards the feminine. And when they think about the karmic energy, they think about someone holding them hostage. And it's just not a good feeling right now. Like, a lot of your karmic, a lot of your masculine's karmics, like, I'm getting this vibe that, like, your masculines just don't like them right now. Like, there's this feeling of, like, annoyance, just being really cranky around them, being really grumpy. Well, that's where it's coming from. It's because deep down inside your masculine, all they can do is think about you, daydream about you, fantasize about you. They genuinely want to come forward and tell you how they feel, but they can't because their hands are tied in these karmic situations. And I know a lot of you are like, well, why do they stay stuck? Again, at the beginning of the reading, I was talking about it being a lot of chaos. It's not that easy for some of your masculines to walk away from karmic situations. Like, there's kids involved in some of your situations, and there's money involved. And when there's money involved and it comes to, like, a situation with, like, people share a home together, like, when you start messing with someone's idea of what it means to be stable, they'll shut love off because survival comes first before love, right? So that's why it's so easy for many of your masculines to choose these karmic situations, because in their head, in their logical head, they're thinking about survival first. And many of the feminines as well will stay stuck in certain situations for long periods of time because you worry about your stability. It's easier to stay with the foundation that you've created rather than take a risk and venture out somewhere else, and even take the risk, on your masculine. And so that was really heavy. But yeah, that's just what I'm getting that's coming through. I feel like the overall best outcome and the best advice for this divine masculine is to follow your heart and take the advice that you're obviously getting concerning taking action, because it's always going to resurface back to this, Okay, you're always going to be watching this divine feminine. It's always going to feel like her energy just kind of brings that chaos to your world, and it's most likely because there's certain things, certain patterns that you're caught up in, and it needs some sort of disruption to occur or to happen. And yeah, maybe it's about time you face it, divine masculine. Your divine feminine in this lifetime is, most likely a reminder for you to be your authentic self. And, the love that she has for you definitely represents authenticity here, because now you're being called to be authentic with her, okay? I'm also feeling a sense of regret in these couple of cards here too, because this might have been a feminine who like you expressed your love and you were authentic with them, and a lot of them look back on your pictures sometimes and they have these like flashbacks where you were so tender and truthful and warm and loving and unconditional, and because they had so much karmic static, it's like they weren't able to see that or really appreciate it. And now that it's not there, now that it's just a fantasy or maybe memory in their head, especially with her being in the water, it's kind of just, it's all they can think about right now. Okay. All right. I'm getting hot after that message. Hang on, guys. Let me take my sweater off. Okay. All right. So let's move on to group 2's message. All right, so you could reach out to, okay? This is a divine masculine that's most likely unblocked you, I want to say, divine feminine, or they've kind of made it obvious that they want to communicate again, but they actually haven't come out and said that they want to communicate. They're maybe just dropping all of these little subtle hints. But I feel like this is a divine feminine that you've learned your lesson, and your response to your masculine is that like the hints is like almost like the breadcrumbing, right? Like they may not intend to do it that way. They may just be doing it out of fear, okay? Fear of rejection, testing the waters. But then in your heart and mind, divine feminine, it's coming through as like, I don't want to be breadcrumbed. And I feel like it's calling for your divine masculines to have confidence. I feel like you find it sexy when they're confident, because right now many of them with this, you could reach out first. You can smell it, that they're scared of rejection. And if they're scared of rejection, they're going to ghost like that. The minute you say something wrong, they're going to ghost. So this is a divine feminine that is calling out to this divine masculine to have that confidence, because they're going crazy right now, I feel, with hoping that you'll reach out. I see a divine masculine checking their phone constantly, checking your social media constantly, and it really irritates them when you post something, because they obviously know you're online and you're choosing to post rather than message them, okay? But yeah, let's see what these cards say and what the divine masculine's best course of action is, okay? So exactly, this is a divine feminine who wants the Emperor. Okay, she doesn't want somebody who's going to drop her hints on reaching out to her. It's over. If she wants the Emperor, then that's an Empress asking for the Emperor. So there's going to be no reaching out from this divine feminine. I feel like you're not going to be as, and this is going to sound weird to say, but like if you have to reach out, I feel like the sexual chemistry between you two will be off. Okay, so it's got to be the divine masculine to do it in this case, okay? Because you want to feel wanted by him. It's like their time to just feel confident about giving their love to you in every way. I feel like you deserve it as well, the way she's just kind of laying back and enjoying him reaching out to her. He's literally reaching out to her in this card, and she's enjoying it because she wants the Emperor. This comes from just like feeling adorned by a man who, is confident and is in charge of himself. It's like, think about how it makes you feel. It reminds me of the line, how does it feel to know that I love you? How does it feel to know that the Emperor loves you and wants you? So it's like by you reaching out, or by them expecting you to reach out, that whole thing just kind of goes off balance, and it's only going to create cycles for you guys. Okay, so just be mindful of that. If you know deep down in your heart that it's like, you know what, I would love to, but I just can't. Like, I'm feeling the block by the universe that, like, it's going to cause some kind of imbalance and we're going to go right back into cycles, okay? So just listen to your intuition, guys, and really kind of sit back and relax and allow your masculine to do their thing. You're the high priestess, and so that's where this is coming from. You already know that it's going to cause some type of imbalance because you can't keep doing the same thing. Each time you guys separate, you know, you come together and then you separate, and then you're the one to reach out, and then karmic cycle happens, and then you guys you know, kind of come together again and then separate, and then, you know, again, you reach out. You're always doing the reaching out, divine feminine, because, you know, maybe there's a part of you, right? Like, maybe once upon a time when you first began this journey, there was a side of you that was very innocent and naive to the idea that it's like we're twin flames and I have to show them unconditional love and I have to be there and I have to constantly like pour out of my cup, and the universe really kind of dragged you through the mud with that one. And so now that you've entered this high priestess position, or if any of you are kind of vibing off this message and you're like, okay, that's my sign, like I was this close to being like, hey, what's up, I noticed you unblocked me. The universe is like, don't you do it, okay? Be the high priestess and stay 10 steps ahead. Like, if you can feel them energetically wanting you to reach out, I feel like it's just a matter of time before they're like, ah, fuck it. Like, and they send you like that message, and there will be balance. And I know it sounds like childish and petty and it's like tit for tat, but like, it's all about balance. It's all about learning those karmic lessons and choosing not to repeat them because you can hear your intuition screaming at you. Okay. All right. We're going to go on to group 3's message here. My life is in chaos right now. Sorry. Oh, goodness. And this is for those of you who are feeling the heaviness and the energy. What I'm feeling for those of you right now who may be feeling this is huge synchronicities around, like, you can't get to sleep these days. You know, it may have been happening for like the last week or so, but a lot of you are like, holy shit, like I'm staying up till like 2 or 3 in the morning. Like, usually I'm passed out by 10, you know, 9, 10 o'clock, I'm passed out. But lately you guys literally cannot get to sleep. Tossing and turning in the bed at night. Even last night as well, I felt a very heavy energy to the point where I kind of had to like stretch my body and really release the energy, listen to some Muji music, and just kind of dance out the vibration and really give myself to the divine and say, whoever's heaviness this is that I'm feeling, please release it. So if a lot of you guys are feeling that way, it's like you kind of feel like anxious and sad. I feel like many of divine masculines are dealing with like just the awareness that some of them have just been caught up in the wrong things. Like, I feel like deep regret over like they haven't been taking care of their health. Okay, my life is in chaos. I've been drinking too much. Some of them have been doing drugs to numb themselves. If some of you have been getting little nicks on your nose, like little cuts on your nose, and it's like, where the hell did this come from? Like, how the hell did I just get a cut on my nose? A lot of your masculines are using substances, and or at least they have been, but now because their life is in chaos, it's almost like this awakening where it's like, God, like they feel like unhealthy, or they feel like kind of disgusted with themselves, that it's like they just haven't been taking care of their health, you know, like over drinking, doing drugs. They're not taking care of like their spending habits, maybe like overindulging, just feeling kind of like hazy. Maybe some of them have been dealing with stuff like sex addiction. They can't stop watching porn. They can't stop going on these like campsites. And the energy afterwards that they feel, it's like depleted. They feel drained. In the past, they were working off of autopilot, very much in the 3D, very much programmed to enjoy those types of things as okay, yeah, this is just what men do to release, and, you know, but it's like, now I get the vibe that a lot of your divine masculines, like, their habits that they've been keeping is what's making them feel like their life is in chaos. Because a lot of them, like, they want to move towards you and they have so much passion for you, but that passion makes them want to escape and drink. Maybe you're unavailable right now, divine feminine. Let's find out what's going on here. Okay, so we have the Hanged Man. They feel like the divine feminine is unavailable. Her hands are tied in this card as well. And I feel like that's why they can't properly reach out or communicate. You may not even be talking to them or communicating with them right now. Maybe their hands are tied, and that's what's making your hands feel like it's tied. Is that you won't communicate unless they have things together, and right now their life is not together. And many of you may not even know this. Like, it might be a secret that your divine masculine is keeping. We have the Hermit card here coming through. This might be a secret that they keep, where it's like you don't know that a lot of the times when they're ghosting or they're just unavailable, it's probably because they're trying to get sober. Okay, and it might be, and it may not even be that obvious to you, divine feminine. It might be like someone who's like a closet drinker, or someone who like they might drink and have hangovers and shit and still make it to work and no one ever knows. You know what I mean? It's like they're starting to wake up and really look at their lives in this way. And it's bringing about justice for many of them, because I feel like a lot of them are having to experience this chaos in order to say to themselves, wait a minute, like I need to stop and something needs to change. Okay. The card here that says the Two of Wands, like just even in the image as well, like, you know, I feel like it's just two people kind of coming and sitting down and being honest with each other. And maybe your masculines can't be honest with you, and maybe the way of communicating that to you guys is in this reading. You know, it's like he has his hand over her mouth here, and you know, the twos itself represent a choice, and in this card I feel like, you know, it's the feminines as well. Like, for some reason your presence kind of makes this stuff come to life. You know, the people they were around before, I feel like your masculines would say, they would always be like, man, I gotta stop drinking. Like, I gotta stop drinking so much. But it's like these same friends would then call them the next weekend and be like, hey, let's go to the bar, let's do this. Even though your masculine has tried to communicate several times that it's like, I want to ease off the drinking. When it comes to the divine feminine's presence, I feel like you guys don't even have to be in communication. Just even your divine masculine sitting down and staring at your pictures for a few minutes, they'll go have a shower after, and it's like they can hear the telepathy, they can hear your voice there with them, you know. And it's like you're the thoughts that say, like, take care of yourself, like slow down a little bit and take care of yourself. You guys remember in the movie Twilight where Bella would hear like Edward's voice? I know it's cheesy to mention as a reference, but like that's just kind of the vibe I'm getting. It's like they can hear the telepathy coming through. And yeah, this is a divine masculine that deeply wants you to know that they're recognizing that their life is in a lot of chaos right now. And I feel like a lot of that chaos has a lot to do with stuff that they don't know how to tell you, or you may already know just based off of your own intuition, divine feminine, but this is something that they can't be honest with you right now. But yeah, this is a divine masculine who's kind of cleaning up shop in those areas, and they really need to kind of get that under control. And it seems to be your presence alone that ends up bringing that big realization to them, is that they've got to get clean and sober in some way, and you're the only person that's ever made them feel like that. Okay? So that's what I have for you guys tonight. I hope you have enjoyed it. Reach out to me on Patreon if you guys want to chit chat one-on-one, or if you guys want to check out the additional readings on there, including my own personal journey. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys in the next video. All right? Take care of yourselves. Be well. See you guys soon. Bye.